It is officially time that I need to start the nursery. And obviously there's just a bunch of stuff in here. But anyway, it's gonna be mountain themed, so I'm gonna start painting today. I only have a month until the baby comes, so I really need to start working on this.
Just a month.
Just a month, I know. Are you boys excited about the new baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So this is my old crib. We're getting rid of that. James made this one. I'll show it a little bit more later. He did a great job. It's made out of walnut wood. And then this is the walnut changing table that he made to match it. So anyway, we're gonna get started on painting. First wall is painted. Took about an hour to trim and paint that one wall. And the boys are having a good old time climbing on everything in here, the ladder, the cribs, see that, and jumping off. So they're staying content. First coat is finished. And then over on this wall, we're gonna paint it a really light gray and then use dark gray to paint like a little mountain scene. And then here's a little trick that I do for saving brushes. If I know I'm gonna put a second coat on something, instead of washing this paintbrush, especially if I'm gonna paint it the next day, all you have to do is stick it inside of a bag like this. Drop it in there and then wrap it up. And then as you wrap it up, if no air hits it, it doesn't dry out. When you take it out of this bag in a day or two, sometimes I've even done this for a couple of days, it'll still be like it's brand new, nice and bristly. And then you can do the same thing with your rollers, then you don't have to wash them. It's time now to paint the final wall. Oh, I'm exhausted. I actually worked today at the hospital from 7 till 3, so I'm pretty tired. And I work tomorrow 12 hours, so it's now 9 o'clock at night. So I need to go get this pregnant body in bed because I'm wore out. Well, this is kind of a disaster. So I painted this wall gray and it turned out exactly how we like it. It's called Owl Gray. This turned out great. I love it. It's a very light gray like what we wanted. But the blue, it's like half the darkness that it should be from the color swatch. I don't know if it was mixed wrong or if this is really what the color is supposed to look like. But I don't like how light it is. It's hard to get the actual correct color in the footage. I have a picture that I'll insert that better shows the difference of what the color should be versus what it actually is. But anyway, James and I decided that even though I like the blue color, James hates it. So I'm gonna just paint the whole room light gray. Then it's just neutral and we can not worry about it. I'm gonna put the second coat on this wall and then now paint the entire room gray. That was a bear to paint all these walls again. I'll do the second coat later. It's a really light gray, but in the video it looks dark. But it's like just a hair darker than white, honestly. Next, I'm gonna start painting the mountain scene wall. So I'm gonna take some masking tape and mark off where my mountains are gonna be, and then I'll paint those. Got the first layer of mountains taped off. I did make a change over there because I didn't like how it turned out. So that's done, and these are the gray colors. The first layer of mountains that I'm gonna paint is this dark gray color and it's cracked pepper. The second layer is gonna be this medium gray color and it's called legendary gray. First coat is finished, and honestly, this is so easy to do, it's sickening. Because of the tape, you can paint onto the tape, doesn't matter because you're gonna rip it off, and then you'll have perfectly straight lines. So you can literally just throw the paint on there. Now, with this paintbrush that has a little bit of that dark gray left on it, I'm gonna paint these knobs. I still have to paint these doors white because they're only primed, but I want the knobs to be this dark gray color. So I'm gonna paint those. Next, I'm going to put the small background mountains in between. is my view from the baby's room this morning, and it's snowing outside. I'm gonna work on putting this second coat on all these walls now. Last thing for this wall is I just need to put the little snow caps on the top of some of the mountains. Got it done. I love the little mountain snow peaks on it. I think it's so cute. Now on to some more tedious stuff in the room. As you can see here where we put the trim on the windows, you can see all the nail holes and then the cracks. Some of this trim I cut and I didn't do a really good job, so when James does it, it's perfect. When I do it, it's not. Anyway, plus there's this here along the window that goes all the way around that needs to be filled in. I've got my caulk gun here. It's probably 20 years old, but it works just fine. And this is the type of interior caulk that we use. It's really easy to use, and then it honestly dries in 20 minutes and you can paint it. Tonight, James is helping me hang the curtain rod for the curtains. Beautiful. Okay.
Now, do you have curtains?
Yes. So I buy this type because I want the room to have blackout curtains. So you can actually hang two of the things on this. So the inner one is where the curtains go, and then the outer one is where the valance goes. So this is just the valance that we have here. I haven't bought the curtains yet. And I still have to sew the mountain scene on the valance.
Inside or outside?
Put it on the outside one. The inside one is for the curtains. These curtain holders are literally like $1. They're really cheap. And the valance is up. So now I just need to sew my mountain scene along the bottom of the valance that I made today. And then we'll buy curtains. Now I need to caulk the trim around these closet doors. And then I need to paint the trim and paint the closet doors. Right now they're just primed white. If you look closely, this trim's pretty bad. It's got a lot of gaps and stuff. So I'm gonna get that fixed up right now. Hi, Eli, what are you doing?
My baby's getting ready to fall.
Is that dragging your baby?
It's not a dragon, it's a T-Rex.
Oh, it is T-Rex. Okay, so caulking is done. Got all of our gaps and stuff filled in. So now I'm just going to paint everything white. I'm just gonna do the trim now and I'll paint the doors later. Oh my goodness. So while I was painting the trim, I heard the boys saying, "Look, we're fat like mommy." And they were giggling and laughing. Look at you, Levi. Elias, come in and show them. Elias, what's in your jammies?
Blocks.
You look like an Oompa Loompa kid.
Yeah, I look like a Oompa Loompa.
Is it hard to walk around? Come here, let me see you up close. Come here.
Stuff is falling out of my gym.
Stand up so I can see it. Turn towards me. You look hilarious. Now I just need to refinish this rocker and the footstool. It's actually a glider, but anyway, it's like a red cherry finish, and it doesn't match our new furniture that James made for the nursery, so I'm gonna spray paint it black like I do everything. Oh my goodness, it's done. That is so hard to do when you're pregnant. Now I just need to reupholster the top of this. The chair looks much better painted black, and we just washed the cushions, so I'll get those put on there. So I wanted there to be clouds above the mountains here, and I was gonna paint them on, but actually instead of painting them, I think I'm gonna make some like little cloud pillows so that they're three-dimensional, and then hang them on the wall. Got my white fabric here that I'm gonna use for the clouds. Oh gosh, my kids. Anyway, it's like a felt, but it's actually a fuzzy felt, so it looks kind of cloud-like. Now it's time to stuff, and so here's all my little clouds. I'm actually gonna use some of the scraps, since this isn't a real pillow, they're just gonna hang on the wall, to stuff them so that I save some of my polyfill, But then there's my fluff that I'm gonna stuff them with. So they're all stuffed, and now I just need to sew up the hole from where I stuffed each one, and I prefer to do that by hand, so that's the last step. James is gonna be my Vanna White to hold them up here. Oh, that'll look cute. Okay, good. We'll hang them up tomorrow.
This one's not as fluffy as this one.
I know, they're just fluffy enough to give it the visual effect, not actually to make like a pillow or anything. Next, I'm gonna finish making these puff balls. I started making a few earlier this morning, so I'm gonna finish them now. And I'm making all these puff balls to string on a string that goes across the wall. So I've got a couple of different colors. They're so easy to make. So what you're gonna do is first cut a piece of string and attach it to a bobby pin. It's just gonna sit here for when you're ready for it. Then you grab a fork, and all you do is start wrapping the yarn around it. And honestly, I bought the cheapest yarn they had at Joann's. This giant thing was like $1.50. And then you just wrap. And you don't want to wrap it too tight either. Keep it a little bit loose. Okay, then you cut the thread. Then you take your little bobby pin here and you stick it down round in there, because if you stick the teeth in, it's going to get caught on the yarn. So you stick the round end in through all the holes, and it comes out the other side. And there's your end of the yarn. Then you tie this in a knot. Once it's triple knotted, then you take it off. Stick your scissors through all the holes. Then you just cut. And voila. And then if you missed any of the holes, you just go back and cut those too. And then you have yourself a nice little puff ball. This is the mountain scene that James made me that I love. It's out of walnut wood, exactly like the furniture in the room that he made. So I'm just gonna put a quick coat of natural stain on it, and then I'm gonna do polyurethane, and that's it. James is cutting me some triangles to make some little mountains. Now I'm going to paint a Bible verse above the closet doors here. It's pretty easy. Got my lines in there. I finished painting the Bible verse. Now I just need to outline it. So I've already started it here. This just gives it more of a finished look. You can see where I've outlined it. Actually, with Sharpie marker. So now I just need to finish the rest of it. Bible verse is done. Now I need to paint these closet doors. The doors are done being painted white and they look so much better. And I also put the little knobs on there that I painted charcoal gray, and they look really good. We're out in the garage on a cold, rainy day, and James is cutting the wire shelf for the baby's closet. What are you gonna cut it with?
I got this.
What is it?
This is a grinder with a cutting wheel on it.
Marking. We finally got the baby's nursery completed, so I'll show you that. And James made this baby changing table, which I love. He really put a lot of time into it, but I don't have any footage of it. But he made it to where you can't see any hardware. He even made his own wooden screws for that. And he also made the crib as well. I'll move this quilt so you can see it. But everything's made out of walnut wood. He made it all from scratch, even planed down the wood and everything. I absolutely love it. My mom made this little blanket for us, and it's a tummy time blanket. It's real squishy. Every little square that you see is actually a pillow, and it's smooth on this side, and then the other side is a rag quilt. So it's got all this fringe in it. It's so soft. And then I made this quilt, so I'll put the link in the description below for making this because it's super simple. And then made that little pillow there. I also made this window valance, so I'll put that link in the description below for how to make that because that's easy too. And then James made this thing as well, so I'll put a link in the description to that video. But we loved how the nursery turned out. It was super simple and the baby's gonna love it. And it was so cheap to do this because we basically made everything in the room.